On this episode of Mom Sipping Sangria,
I really think that that is the thread that weaves all the way through 2020.
I'm good. Let's do it.
Welcome to Mom Sipping Sangria. I'm Sheila Walsh.
And I'm Anita Reynolds-MacArthur, sipping on a virgin Christmas sangria. Ooh, this sangria calls for a mix of red grape and cranberry juice to give it that, rich sangria color. Oh, this is fantastic, Sheila.
Yes, it's very seasonal. And as we know, our guest coming up, she doesn't drink. So we thought we would, honor her with a virgin sangria. And, if you wanted to add some wine and make it a sangria, it's a great base. Kind of checks off a lot of boxes. So how you doing, Miss Anita? Shopping, ready for the season? The countdown is on.
Certainly is. I'm in pretty good shape, actually. I tend to do a lot of my getting all kerfuffled over shopping and stuff like that just before. I like to hit just before Black Friday so that, most of what we have, because Black Friday, really, that goes on for like an entire month.
Yeah.
So it's not just one day anymore. So I get all of my online shopping done that way. And then there's usually just like little stocking stuff for things for friends and family or whatever that, are left around this time. But other than that, no, not too bad. How about you?
Good. Yeah, I'm way ahead of it because if I don't get things done earlier than later, I have major anxiety, and it just sits on me like a heavy blanket. I just like, gotta get it done.
Yeah.
So in a way that works for me because I end up, working my butt off to make sure Christmas cards are done and the decorations are up and the presents are bought. So I burn out by the end of November, but by then December, I can kind of just chill and relax and enjoy the season. So that's what happens every year. So that's where I am. I got everything done end of November. So now I'm just kind of chilling back and sitting back and enjoying it.
Right. And actually, it's unfortunate that we can't be celebrating like we normally do as of when December rolls around. But it does allow us to kick back a little bit.
Yeah, it sure does. So, we're going to get into that because we are coming to the end of 2020. Sure is one for the books. Holy.
Goodness.
I think if you told us a year ago, Anita, that we'd be isolating, wearing masks, working from home, schooling from home, we would say, what the heck is in your sangria, lady? We have a lot of people believing that 2020 was the year from hell, but you know what? It wasn't all bad, right, Anita?
It wasn't all bad, but you did just remind me of an SNL skit that we watched not too long ago. They just re-aired it. And it had to do with people coming in. They went to see a medium.
Oh, yeah.
And it was going into 2020. So 2020 hadn't happened yet. And the medium was saying things like, I see you picking up a chip bag and you're putting disinfectant all over it before you even open it. And they're like, why am I putting, I understand the chip bag, but I don't get the disinfectant. And it just went on from there with all these like crazy things that we've been doing and getting into. And, with 2020, it's just, you couldn't try to explain it, until you started living it for sure. Yeah. You know what? There have been some good things. Absolutely. It hasn't been all bad. So we wanted to leave 2020 on a good note. And who better to help us do that than the amazing and incomparable Erin Davis. Mm-hmm. You may know Erin as the former longtime host of Toronto CHFI Radio. She's also the best-selling author of a memoir called Morning Has Broken. She has a long-standing and very successful online journal, and she's the host of a new podcast called Elder Wisdom.
A superstar. So here's our chat with Erin on the top 10 of 20. Erin, it's so good to speak with you again. How are things on the lovely west coast of Canada?
They are beautiful. Kind of, we vacillate between rain and fog and sunshine and rainbows. There's almost a rainbow every day. But, it's about 7 or 8 degrees, and it's going to stay this way until it warms up in February. So I think we can deal with it.
So, Erin, we last spoke to you about 10 months ago in March. It was just before things were shutting down, and a lot has happened since then. Actually, a lot has happened in your own personal life. Congratulations on Colin and his family moving right close to you. And then you also have a new puppy. Do tell.
Oh, gee, well, the family thing is something that it's such an abundance of riches. I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it because people are going through such terrible separation and longing and missing. And here we are with our nuclear family having moved from Ottawa to a 6-minute drive from our house. And there was a kind of a confluence of not great things that had to happen, including COVID, which is very not great. But Colin's mom's health and, being out of work and that sort of thing, and all just a number of things that had to happen for these doors to open. So talk about your silver lining. It's unbelievable. And of course, Colin's got a new baby sister. She's a year old, and we've got a little girl, running around the house now. And then this little girl running around the house who's in my studio right now trying to find a new place to pee. She's Rosie, and she's a Shih Tzu Pomeranian, and she was born August 21st. She's a lot. Like, I had forgotten. It's like having a baby. You forget about all of the work and the drama and everything because the rewards are so great, but oh my God, she's a lot of work.
She is so cute, little black and white and just a fur ball. Like, that's going to go a long way when she's a naughty doggy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Rob will say that. He'll say it's a good thing she's cute,
Well, Erin, congratulations on that. That's good that you've got some great, family connections so close by now. And you're a person who brings a lot of joy and perspective to people. You have for so many years, no matter what you're going through, good, bad. So when we thought of chatting with someone who would be able to leave 2020 on a high note, you're like the only person who we thought was capable of doing so.
Oh, well, that is my honor and my pleasure. And I didn't have any problem coming up with ideas about things that really, really were good about 2020.
So when that time capsule from 2020 is opened years from now, what are some of the good stories that we might find inside?
Well, let's start with the way that we connected. And I really think that is the thread that weaves all the way through 2020. And it's a dichotomy, it's a contradiction, but we connected by staying apart. And we did that in a number of ways. We did it especially technologically. More people doing things like Zoom meetings. Please, can we stop having to put makeup on for phone meetings? Anyway.
Here.
Oh, God, do this over the phone. Okay, so we connected on Zoom. And I was talking with a guy from Abacus Data the other day named David Coletto, and he referred to his parents in their 60s as technical immigrants, people who were not born with all of this. They didn't come out with a device in their hand. And they have learned to do this. We're Googling, we're Google Meetings, we're doing FaceTime, we're Zooming. We are connected in ways that we never thought. And I think that this isolation, quarantine, whatever it is, all of this has pushed us exponentially into where we were eventually going to get, but we've just gone there on warp speed. And what a blessing it's been. There have been, a couple of things, people caught on camera doing things they shouldn't have been. These Zoom meetings.
Do you remember those early days? And yeah, people would be like on the toilet while they're meeting, thinking people weren't seeing. Hopefully, we've learned our lesson.
Yeah, mute that thing. So yeah, technologically, we have become connected. And we've become connected in another way. I don't know if this happened with you guys, but in the early days of quarantine, first off, Rob and I had to hightail it out of the U.S. to try and get out as soon as we saw Trump at the Oval Office desk telling people, you better come home. And then there was pandemonium in the airports because nobody had planned for it. We decided, okay, we got to get out of California. Ended up selling that house. We got home. We had to self-quarantine. People started bringing us food, like friends bringing casseroles. And it's just, it's so 1950s welcome to the neighborhood. But we reconnected in that way, too.
So heartwarming, and it really shows the compassion and caring that are in people. But we needed to slow down in order to see that.
Totally. And Rob and I, every week, we deliver meals for our local community center for older folks and people who can't get out or don't want to get out. And it's just, I wish that I could sit and talk with them for a little bit. We're kind of on a tight schedule, but also because we've got masks and distancing, we can't. But there is that little bit of connection at the door as we're handing over their meals. And it's everything that we have used this opportunity of isolation to turn it into connection. And again, that thread of 2020 is connection.
Love that. So those are 2 out of 10. That's amazing. So it's all about the connection and how we reconnected and how we found new ways to connect.
Absolutely. Now, we connected with the shows that we hadn't had a chance to watch. We got a chance to do binge watching. I fell in love with Bosch. If you haven't seen this, he's an LA detective, Hieronymus Bosch, played by Titus Welliver. Yum. That's all I have to say about that. So, on the other hand...
I'm taking notes.
Bosch, spelt like the appliance. Come on in my kitchen. All right. Yes.
I got to go now.
He can scour my casserole anytime. Okay.
We've suddenly gone from G-rated to...
What are you talking about, Sheila? I'm talking about dishes. Come on. On the other hand, we had Tiger King. If you ever wanted to see, Trump buys a zoo, here we go. And good God. So what do we think? Did Carol Baskin feed her husband to the tigers?
100%.
Yeah, right? Hey there, cats and kittens. Or whatever the hell that was. Yeah. Anyway.
But, didn't that show make you feel better about yourself?
Yeah, really, eh?
In every possible way. Every way. Even my COVID hair felt better about itself. Jeez.
Oh my.
Yeah. And we discovered things that we hadn't before. We had time for deep dives into some of the Oprah interviews or a new season of David Letterman. Queen's Gambit came out.
Yeah.
So,
it's amazing.
Yeah. So instead of drama queens, we got to watch actual queens. And so that's been a good thing. We've had time to watch stuff. So that was another positive thing.
Excellent.
Okay. Next up, home perspectives. Now, I do a podcast for the Canadian Real Estate Association, and a lot of the focus this year has been people are going crazy. The real estate market has been insane. And part of this is our homes have had to become everything. They're our office, our restaurant, our gym, our spa, everything, our, meeting places, everything.
Our schools.
Schools, of course, most importantly, schools. So people have had to look around and go, what's wrong with this picture? Why is that there? Why don't we do this? We need more space. We don't use that living room, sitting room thing. Let's open it up. So those who decided to hold on to their houses have changed their houses. I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the spring, when everything was on lockdown except for a few stores, the busiest stores were home improvement, paint stores. Hello, baby.
Hi, Rosie. Maybe she meant pet stores.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and pet stores. I mean, you could not get an animal to save your life, but you were saving theirs because there were rescues galore. Come here, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Because people said, hey, I've got time to train an animal. I want a pet in my home. I need that connection. And so a lot of animals were rescued from shelters.
Yeah.
So there's another positive thing. That happened this year as well. Have you kept count here, Sheila?
That would be 6.
That would be 6.
Yeah.
Ah, geez.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is making us all feel so much better. Do carry on.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Canada, as a country, we had, of course, our challenges. But seeing Barack Obama the other night with Stephen Colbert and him name-checking Canada as having like 35% the number of COVID casualties that the United States has had. We haven't done things perfectly. There are a lot of questions about how the vaccines will be handed out and who will get it first and all of that. And, they're saying Trudeau dithered and whatever, because he can't do anything right in some people's eyes. But what he did was he communicated with us every day, sometimes just so people could criticize his hair or his beard. I like the beard.
I like the beard.
But he communicated with us, and the difference, we always compare ourselves to the United States, and in some ways it's always been a bit of an inferiority complex among Canadians, whether we admit it or not. But Canada was built on peace, order, and good governance. The United States was built on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And because we tend to be rule followers, we tend to do what we're told. We have done in many ways, not exemplary, but well in terms of how Canada, with some notable provincial exceptions, have handled the pandemic. We stuck to our bubbles. Some provinces said, nope, you're not coming in at all. Newfoundland and Labrador have refused all requests for people to come home for the holidays. People are taking this seriously, and people like Dr. Bonnie Henry in British Columbia have stepped up and been shining examples, not just for Canada, but for the world, of how to handle this.
Right.
So I think, not perfect, but a lot of things were done right. So I think that that's a real feather in our cap for 2020 as well.
I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like we're safer in Canada than a lot of other places. We are not as at risk, and that could be false, but I just think the way they've done it has made us feel safe. And isn't that what government's all about? Trusting and, we've got your back. We're looking out for you.
Exactly. And all we have to do is listen. Listen to epidemiologists, listen to scientists and experts instead of some anonymous troll in their basement who is, spreading misinformation at whose behest we don't know. We can suspect, but there was a thing in Red Deer a few weeks ago about our civil liberties, and I'm going, civil liberties. Where do we hear that phrase a lot? So exactly. I don't know. There's room for pushback with governance and government and stuff. But, when it comes to people who are trying to save our lives, I want to listen to the experts.
Yes.
And not some TV doctor, Sanjay Gupta accepted, but, someone who doesn't know a virus from Miley Cyrus. So there you go.
Oh, she does it again.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's up to 7 for the last 3.
Right.
What last 3 do you want to choose now?
Got so many of them. I was reading an interview with the sax player, Mark Rivera, from Billy Joel's band, and he's been with him for 30-some years. By the way, Billy Joel is paying all of his musicians when they're not performing monthly at Madison Square Garden.
Nice.
Talk about a stand-up guy.
Oh, my goodness.
So this sax player, Mark Rivera, people say, what's the trick? This is the guy who wrote the sax riff from Sledgehammer. He wrote the sax riff from Urgent, Foreigner. He's everything, and I'm sorry to fangirl on him, but he was asked, what's the trick? He said, there is no trick. It's attitude, aptitude, gratitude. And I circled that quote because I thought, oh my God, that's so good. Attitude. That we can do this, we have to do as we're told. Okay? And we'll get through this together, and no exceptionalism. We just do what we have to keep other people safe. Even if we don't think that we're in the danger zone, there are a lot of people who are. So attitude. Aptitude, we found out things we were good at in 2020. There were people making bread. There were people who were going back to sewing or creating or scrapbooking. There were people who were getting on TikTok and creating there, learning the guitar. In the first round of COVID quarantine, people were exploring and achieving things. Second round, it's an achievement if we get our pajama pants on. But anyway.
Okay, we're all feeling that way. Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly. So attitude, aptitude, and of course, gratitude. We stopped taking things like toilet paper and paper towels and no lineups at the stores for granted. I mean, you guys are fairly close in age to me. And, you remember seeing newsreels of communist countries where people lined up for a loaf of bread or all of these things that we went, are you kidding me? We walk into a supermarket the size of a small town and everything is at our fingertips. But now we can be grateful. We can be grateful for the people who are working there, for all the frontline workers, for everybody who goes to a job and isn't getting the extra pay this time around. There are so many people who are out of work, and my heart aches for every one of them. I think of, the hotel staff and the people who have been there for us, and we thank them. Well, we're thanking them now, and we're thanking the frontline workers. We're thanking each other for being careful and being safe, and we're thanking those who are in charge, who are dealing with threats and constant vitriol online and just doing their jobs.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a 10 list there.
Fantastic, Erin. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's so much bad that has happened in 2020, but this list, you've just made me feel so much better as we, say goodbye to it and are going to be, greeting 2021, whatever that might hold. What's your wish for 2021?
Well, remember the saying, hindsight is 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that 2021 is foresight. I hope that we have the foresight to watch and see what happens with, so far, the 3 companies with vaccines. Make sure that the right people are telling us to get them. I had a meeting the other day with a woman, and we talked about a possible business project. And then she said, well, I'm worried about the vaccine because there could be tracking in the vaccines. And I'm thinking,
oh my goodness.
Okay, nobody cares what we're doing. And if they are, so what? Mm-hmm. And I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the people who don't get the vaccine.
Yep.
And then, kids are getting it at school, getting the virus, and we'll never be done with this horrific thing. So my wish, my foresight for 2021 is that people give their heads a shake, get off Q, get off the sites that are not news but are just garbage and propaganda, and start thinking for themselves. Does this make sense? So I don't know. That's a soapbox I could be on for 4 hours, but I'm so tired of the dumbing down of information. And that people are just so open to the most ridiculous ideas just because their Aunt Edna sent it to them on Facebook.
Well, that's the problem, is a lot of these things circulating on social media platforms. So you're absolutely right. Erin, we love you. Stay safe. Hugs to everyone there. And we always look forward to reading your materials on erindavis.com. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you. And what's happening with Mom sipping sangria for 2021? Anita, Sheila?
Just keep on keeping on, right, Anita?
Absolutely. No, we've got lots lined up for 2021. It's been a really interesting journey for us. And it's one, I just never expected that Sheila and I would get together and, work on the same track together. And so it's been a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. And I look forward to more of that in 2021.
Yeah, me too. Good. Me too. Cheers to all of you.
Cheers. Yes. Raising a glass. I'm a mom sipping Starbucks. You guys have your sangria. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, thanks, Erin, and enjoy the holidays.
Okay, love to both your families.
And yours. Well, that was just great. And I think before we raise a glass or take a pass on anyone else, we definitely have to raise a glass to Miss Erin Davis and her podcast, Elder Wisdom. So great and innovative and capturing the voices of, people who probably don't get heard a lot. So yeah, if you're looking for another podcast, Elder Wisdom with Erin Davis is amazing. So it's time to take a glass. Nope, it's not.
It is time to take a glass.
Yes, we're going to take a glass. And then we're going to raise a glass, or we're going to take a pass.
It's that time of year, right?
Oh my gosh.
We'll take a glass.
You know what? Everyone's burning out at this time of the year, and so am I.
I know.
Oh my gosh. So this is where we cheer someone or something great, or we toss a sangria over their head. Are you raising a glass or taking a pass this time, Anita?
I'm actually going to raise a glass, but it's not actually to a person or a place. It's to a thing. And it's one of the features that comes with the iPhone. And I'm not making a plug for the iPhone. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the other phones probably have it as well. It's Notes.
Oh, I love Notes
feature. Oh my gosh. I cannot live without it. I use it daily. Yeah. And anytime, something comes into my head, or if we need groceries or whatever, it's that Notes. I don't know how I ever lived without it. So I'm raising a glass to Notes, which is a feature on the iPhone.
I just want to add something to that, Anita, because we are all working from home remotely. And I don't know about you, but I still have to scan documents. Notes allows you to scan documents, people. I didn't realize this until my daughter Lila showed me. There's a little plus sign on Notes. You hit the plus sign and it says scan documents. You scan it, you save it, you email it back.
No way.
Yes.
I have a separate app for that.
No,
I have a separate app for that, but no, I'm going to start doing that in Notes.
Right in Notes. It saved me so much because, you have to, somebody will send you a document, you have to sign it, and they said scan it back. And I'm like, well, I don't have a scanner. So scan documents through your Notes. Thank you very much, Notes. Oh my gosh, I'm with you 100%. Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Sheila? Are you raising a glass or taking a pass?
Okay, Anita, I have a laundry list of things I'm taking a pass at.
Uh-oh.
It's just one of those weeks.
This is our This is our uplifting episode.
I figured with Erin doing all the good stuff, I can afford to do a bunch of bad stuff. But it's all stuff you're all going to relate to. It's just everything's been really bugging me lately. Okay, so here I go.
All I'm going to say is poor Greg.
And I can add that one because, okay, so I'm going to start with that one. You just reminded me of another one. So the battle of the temperature in the house has begun. All right. So I walk around and I have fans everywhere because I'm of a certain age and I need fans on me. And he's always cold. So he has a portable heater. So we walk around. He leaves a room that's just been blasting with his heater. And I have to turn the fan on and cool it down because I'm dying. So there's one. I'm tossing a sangria over his head. Second.
You just gave me an idea for, oh my gosh, you just gave me an idea for Ian because we have this similar problem, except Greg and I are the same. So we walk around the house and he's like, did you turn up the heat? And I'm like, no, did you lower it? Like, honestly.
I die of the heat every single day. And he's like, I'm so cold. I'm like, shut up. Anyway, so there's that. That's one. Two, I go to a grocery store that I love. And this is maybe about a month ago. And I'm buying some chocolates for friends of mine. They have 4 birthdays in 1 month. So I buy a couple of things, including a little bag of chocolates that are $4.99. So I buy 5 of them, $4.99. Go back a couple of weeks ago, pass by that chocolate stand. Guess what? So that was $4.99 regular price. It says special $6.99 crossed out to $5.99. So it was never $6.99. They bumped it $6.99, crossed it out, made it $5.99 to seem that they are giving you a break, when meanwhile, they have raised the price of the natural price $2 since last month. Does that make sense? Can you see the visual of what I'm doing there? Isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah. No, I totally, you know what? And I've noticed that before. You have to be so careful.
You have to be careful.
So many times I've seen that in stores where they cross it out. But if you are, consistently buying a particular product, you know what it retails for normally. That drives me berserk.
So I, you know what? Shame on them because, and I like this place too. And I'm still buying their turkey dinner, but still I'm mad at them. Okay, 3 quickly. I have 4. Okay, so 3 quickly. So, everybody's buying things because, gyms are shutting down, etc. So Greg goes to buy dumbbells for our son at a store that is well known for selling a whole bunch of stuff, including exercise equipment. And this store has gone from dumbbells that would have cost maybe, $15 in October to now going and charging $72 for the same pair of dumbbells. So much like the chocolate, right? This is the same thing. So shame on them, and I will not be buying anything from them.
Absolutely.
And lastly, this is...
Okay, I'm tossing them too.
Okay, right? All right. So lastly, this involves my niece. So my niece is a graphic designer for a marketing company in Toronto. She came up with a very popular poster that was spread all over Toronto. And if we post it, you'll recognize it in the Toronto area. It's, we're all in this together except 6 feet apart. And it's white and black. And it was literally, blasted all over Toronto. Well, someone has taken that image and is now selling it for profit, a poster and I think a T-shirt, and nor her or her company are getting any cut of that. So I'm sure it's illegal, but I just want to say, that kind of stuff, that's so shady. Like, come on.
It really is.
So, a whole pitcher of sangria over them.
So is there not anything that she can do about that? Or like...
Well, I don't know. I think
you hear about these kind of things happening, but that's
she's
crazy.
Really young, and she's, when you were young, you're just like kind of almost complimented. Think, somebody wants to use that, so you're not seeing the bigger picture. But an aunt who has 30 years on her, and her parents, and everyone else around there, is like, no, that is nice that it's so popular that someone wants to do that. You're right. However, the company and you should be getting some off the back end there. So anyway, I'm sorry I went on a little bit of rant, but like I said, Erin had so many good things. I figured I could offset it.
That's totally cool.
I mean, offset it.
Cool. I mean, tossing every single one of those, I'm with you on that.
Thank you. Now I can breathe.
Well, then, in addition to these things or people we have tossed or toasted, we have a few favorite things on our website, which we raise a glass to each episode. We would love to share those with you. You can find them on Fave Finds which is our page on our website, momsippingsangria.com. Sheila, what are you going to share today?
2 things, gift ideas. If you're still looking for something for somebody, range from cheap to not so cheap. The cheap one is a bath soak that will literally take you to your happy place. And the expensive one is a camera that is outstanding and could keep someone busy over the winter with maybe a new hobby. So those are my 2. How about you, Anita?
Okay, so for me, I love essential oils. So my recommendation this time is for an essential oil diffuser, but it also acts as a humidifier. So during the winter months, you place it by your bedside table when you go to sleep, and in the morning, like the moisture is going all night. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be putting up on Fave Finds page.
Awesome. So cheers to all those people, places, and things. And of course, we raise a grass. Oh my God. We raise some grass to you.
We could do that too.
That's true. It's legal now. Let me try that. Let me try that again. Cheers to all those people, places, and things. And we raise a glass to you as well. Cheers.
We've come to the part of the show which we call the Sangria Chronicles, featuring good news stories only, because who wants to sip and cry?
Not I.
I don't know about you, Sheila. Not me.
Not I.
There's enough of that going on in the world already. So let's put on those rose-colored glasses and focus on the good news only. Sheila?
Yes, ma'am. It is my turn. And in addition to all the wonderful good news that Erin shared earlier in the episode, this story comes out of the States, and I saw it in a tweet. So it's going to be really short, but it really impacted me just reading a few lines, okay? We go to Shannon Wiltsey Sturman, PhD, out of the States. I think she's from California. She tweeted this out. My 19-year-old son bought a car today. The guy who sold it to him took the cash, counted out $1,000, and gave it back to him saying, "Good luck in college. Pay it forward." Unbelievably kind and brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, that is a really nice feel-good story.
Isn't that awesome?
I love that.
I can say, if you want to bring it down, if you're the kind of person that's just too happy, then read some of the comments. Because there's always those people who will comment on a story like that, and you're just like, really, dude?
You gotta love social media for that, right?
I know.
Always looking to the negative.
But I just thought that's so nice, and you know, someone like that, I hope they have a great 2021, and I hope their business just flourishes, because that's just an amazing thing to do.
So if you have a good news story to share, or you'd like to cheer someone you know who did something that made you or others happy, we'd love to hear it. You can send it in via our website, momsippingsangria.com.
All right, Miss Anita, let's spill the sangria. Any juicy or funny stories that you want to spill over a sangria this episode?
Okay, so this is a confession, and it actually falls in line with this time of year. It's a throwback to my high school days. It goes way back to my graduating year, and I was part of a good deeds club where you volunteered your services to, facilities that needed it. For instance, we can't do this now, but long-term care facilities, we used to go in and we would just, chat with the elderly, and we would sometimes we even fed them and things. So it was very rewarding for us, but it was, a good deed for them.
Nice.
So this particular time, it was a Christmas talent show that we were invited to. And so we were asked to come and perform. 'Twas the night before Christmas as their final act. We had been practicing this for quite some time. It was second nature to us to put this on. And it was an elementary school. Everyone from, junior kindergarten right up until they were graduating from their elementary school. So that day, as we get to the school, we're getting ready. We're in the back area of the gymnasium and stuff. And I was just part of the ensemble. The main person who was actually going to read the story and act as a narrator, she got cold feet and she said, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so we're all looking at each other like, we got to go on in 5 minutes. Seriously now? So I just finally said, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll be the narrator. So they was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we get up there. Now, Sheila, I had never had a microphone in front of my face, and I had never really been on a stage in front of people like this. The gym was packed with parents, children, guardians, the teachers, the principal, like you name it, plus, our crew. So anyway, so I get up there and I'm just about to start the book and I look out and I freeze. And I'm like, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Take a deep breath and I start. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Have to flip the page. And as I flip the page, the book slips out of my hand, falling to the floor. And as I reach down to pick it up, my face goes so close to the microphone. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was, oh, shit. And it reverberated.
Oh.
It reverberated throughout the entire gym. And before I even picked the book up, I stopped and I stared, and like these little kids' faces, their eyes were bugging out of their head. I'm scanning. Parents are like, oh, we actually had, because I went to a Catholic school, it was a nun that brought us there. And if her eyes could have bugged out of her head, they would have. It was just so mortifying.
That's the best story ever.
Oh my gosh. It's something that you would see in like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or, like The Breakfast Club, those kind of movies. Like, honestly, I was just mortified. But I did have to pick myself up because we had to keep going and finish this silly concert off, the talent show. So I dusted myself off and we started anew and we finished it. And I just couldn't wait to get off that stage.
Oh,
I don't tell many people that story, but I'm telling it now, and I'm hot just thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, Anita, congratulations for letting that go finally. Wow. Aren't you glad they didn't have social media back then? Because that would have been viral.
Gosh. No kidding. Oh my God. I mean, it was a good laugh after at my expense, but oh my God, it was so mortifying going through that.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us hang out with you, and we hope you're staying well and healthy. Remember, past episodes, fave finds, and sangria recipes, and other great stuff can be found on our website, momssipping.sangria.com. And I also just want to say, next week is Anita's birthday. She's 29 again. I don't know how that works.
Oh my goodness. Again, I know. Magic.
Happy birthday, darling. I'm not even going to say Merry Christmas because you always get overshadowed because your birthday's so close to Christmas. So I'll skip Christmas altogether and I'll say Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. And same to you.
Thank you. And before we sign off, we're going to leave you with Sip on this question. And Anita, you have one for me, I guess.
I do have one for you. And now, Sheila, keep in mind, this is supposed to be, Sip on this question is meant to be a reflective and a little bit more on the upbeat side to help other people, to help our listener also, think about this question. So my question is,
okay, wait.
If you had to sum up,
wait a minute. If you're prefacing this, then this is something that you anticipate me to answer very negatively. All right, go ahead.
If you had to sum up 2020 in one word, what would it be?
Does that count? Is that even a word? Let me think.
I think that's your answer. I love it.
That might be my answer. All right. I don't have a better one than that. That's it for now. Till next time, have a good one. Oh, and we should actually ask you, what one word can you sum up 2020 with? Okay, now we can do it. Till next time, have a good one.
Have a good one. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
We are Mom Sipping Sangria.
Who wants to sip on a sip? Are you okay?
How did you know I almost fell off my chair just now?
I think I can't see you. It's hurting me.
This is the day we are both having. Mom Sipping Sangria is produced by Elm Podcasting.